Developing tonight, a key suspect in the Benghazi terror attack has finally been captured. Picked up in Libya some 642 days after 4 Americans were murdered there, including our ambassador. Ahmed Abu Khatala is now on his way to the United States for a potential trial in Washington, D.C., just like any common criminal. Why? Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson is a member of the Foreign Relations Committee and the Homeland Security Committee. And so, Senator, that's the question. Why exactly are we bringing this terrorist who was captured abroad here onto American soil to try him in the criminal courts?
Well, Megyn, again, because President Obama is going to make matters worse once again. Because President Obama made this commitment when he first took over the presidency that he was going to close down Guantanamo. And so now we don't have a place to detain these high-value terrorists. That we really should be doing is getting intelligence from them. You know, we are under severe threat of Islamic terrorism. That's a sad and unfortunate fact. Our best line of defense against terrorism is a robust intelligence gathering capability. And when we capture these high-value targets, we need to make sure we detain them and extract every ounce of intelligence from them. You don't do that in hours or days or weeks. You do that by detaining them in a place like Gitmo. You do it over years. You relentlessly question them. They start changing their stories. They might even start trusting you a little bit. That's how you actually gather that intelligence. But this administration is simply not willing to do that because this president is bound and determined to close down Guantanamo Bay. I have no idea why. I've been down there. It's a first-class facility. These people are treated humanely. They're treated beautifully, quite honestly.
Well, now the guy's going to be Mirandized at some point. He's going to assert his rights. The administration points out that we've done this with other terrorists, and it's worked out okay. The Times Square bomber, the underwear bomber, both of those guys were here in the United States. They weren't captured in Libya, but they're dragging this guy back here to face a trial, the same as any, criminal who's arrested on the streets of Detroit would be brought into federal court.
Megyn, we don't know what intelligence we didn't get from the underwear bomber or the Times Square bomber. We don't know that. And listen, I want to bring these people justice too, but if I had to choose between a successful prosecution and getting intelligence that saved Americans' lives, I would vote for the intelligence, and I think that's what we need to do in the current situation.
All right, let me ask you this, because today the president said, I've made it a priority to bring justice to those who perpetrated the Benghazi terror attack ever since it happened. Meantime, it's been years that we've been looking for this guy, and despite the fact that the administration couldn't seem to find him, the New York Times found him a couple of years ago sipping a strawberry frappe. This guy who's been arrested tonight, our own Greg Palcott interviewed him a couple of years ago. It's no problem for reporters to find him, and yet the administration said, no resource was lost. We were after him. This has been a priority, and this came up at a State Department briefing today when our own James Rosen questioned the State Department spokesperson Jen Psaki. Listen.
You stated, I'm paraphrasing but faithfully, that we should not be surprised that a suspected terrorist might more readily agree to show up for an interview with a reporter than he or she would for a scheduled meeting with the U.S. Special Forces. And respectfully, I submit to you that that is not properly framing the question. The question being put to you, it seems to me, is why U.S. Special Forces couldn't have an unscheduled meeting.
There are reasons why individuals, including terrorists, meet with reporters to gain more attention for their issues or their agenda. Following your own logic, the next question to be propounded to you is, why didn't we pose as a reporter to capture him then? Well, we appreciate your view. If you're volunteering yourself for future endeavors, we'll take that into account. You're not answering the question of why a reporter was able to get within 6 inches of this guy and U.S. Special Forces weren't for more than 2 years. What is the answer to that?
And still none was forthcoming. Senator, your view on it?
Well, it certainly wouldn't be because the U.S. Special Forces aren't an excellent force that, if given the directive to do so, would have probably done it. Listen, I don't know the exact details. I'm glad that we got Abu Khatala finally arrested. That's a good thing. We need to bring the other terrorists to justice. We also need to hold members of the administration, the State Department, accountable for their dereliction of duty in not securing the
But do you believe it was a priority?
Consulate.
That's really what Rosen was going for, and right, what my question is to you. Do you believe, as the president claimed, that this was a priority?
It certainly doesn't look like it was a top priority. Let's face it, 642 days, it took us that long. But again, I don't know the details. I can't make that accusation. What I can tell you, what is not a priority of this administration is holding members of his administration accountable for their dereliction of duty. That's the other thing that needs to be done in terms of holding people accountable.
Senator Johnson, thanks for being here.
Have a great night.
You too.